Hello, YouTube enthusiasts. Just wanted to continue with some thoughts on what goes into quality art. And I thought today I would talk about something that has to do with the accumulations of decisions made in the artistic process, or taking advantage of opportunities to make a decision within the artistic process. And it's based on this idea that the more creative decisions an artist chooses to take, the more likely the work is to be distinctive. Going to the Oxford Language's definition of what distinctive is, just to make slightly more clear. Something is distinct if it is recognizably different in nature from something of a similar type. Now, of course, this is a bit of a value judgment. Some people may require something to be more distinct for them to recognize it as something worthy of note than someone else, which I think is one of the issues that we run into in comparing a lot of older music and newer music, just to make a gross generalization there. And this idea, though, that making more creative decisions is going to make the art more distinctive isn't an absolute, but more often than not it is going to make it more distinct. The reason it's not an absolute is because not all decisions are created equal. There can be a major creative decision or a minor creative decision. A major creative decision, I would say, would be the melody. If it has a very strong melody, a distinct melody, that was something that somebody came up with and made a decision to use. That would be a major decision that's going to greatly affect the piece. A minor decision might be something like tone. The arrangement might be a minor decision, depending on what the arrangement is and how it plays into the rest of the song. So yeah, there is so that's going to be what makes the difference. If somebody makes a lot of creative decisions, but they're all extremely minor ones, their work of art still may not be subjectively greater than someone who maybe only made one decision, which was to come up with an incredible melody that they then outsourced to some kind of program and maybe had it, played through some kind of a synthesizer or something where there wasn't any real input, or maybe they played it on one string of an out of tune ukulele, but it's that strong of a melody that that it works. So one of the nice things with this, though, is even if we're not getting into value judgments on what's better or what's worse, the more decisions an artist can make along the process, the more hands-on they are with that, the resulting art is at least going to conform more to the artist's personality. It's going to be unique to them, whether it's distinct in the wider canon or not. And we can well imagine how this could be the case. Say you're an artist and you're making as few decisions as possible. You could make a song. You could pull up a pre-programmed drum loop. You could put in like a 2-note synthesizer, loop that. Maybe do the same with a bass. You've made 3 decisions there. Now you're just looping them. There's not going to be the player input, so it's not like you're playing through the entire song, which in one way of looking at it, each of those notes that a person plays, if they're playing live per se, is a decision being made. You can play it harder, softer, quieter, louder, all those things, decide to slur it, play a little behind the beat, there's all these little decisions that you can be making even without thinking about it, just by putting feel into it. A person's playing style, their feel, the emotion they put into it, all of that it's probably going to be subconscious if you're a fluid enough player, but those are all little inputs as well that are going to affect how distinct it is and how personal it is to you. So yeah, any time in the process that you can choose to do that, if you can write your own lyric, do your own vocal. Is the vocal auto-tuned, well, that's going to remove some of your human input from it. Although that could be a decision you make for other reasons. But yeah, the more you can play live, that allows for all those different things. As you get into the production side of it, if you're just pulling up a sampled instrument, well, that's a decision. And depending on which sample you use, and then how you EQ the sample, and whatever different effects and so forth you throw on it, each of those are decisions that you can use to make even that sample unique to your sound. But let's say you decide to use your own drum, or you use something that isn't even a drum. Maybe you use a phone book. You hit a phone book with a rubber chicken or something like that, and then you run it through, some obscure microphone that you found at a garage sale mixed with a guitar pickup that you hand wound yourself, and then there's all these different layers where you can have an effect on the final product. So if nothing else, even if it's not good, it's going to be interesting and it's going to be unique to you. And then you can even go beyond that when you get into collaborations, because then it's not just your personality that's going into it, but it could be other artists that you're playing with, somebody else who's producing all their inputs. So then instead of having a work of art that represents all the complexities of a single artist's personality, you have this new emergent personality that hopefully is greater than the sum of its parts. And in fact, that's what you get into when you get into a lot of these legendary ensembles, these great bands. As individuals, they can be amazing, but when they come together, there's that chemistry. And so each of the decisions that each one of those members is making and inputting into it is having an effect on the final outcome. So anyways, that was just a short video I wanted to make about the decisions that a person can make when they're making art. Now, of course, certain kinds of art are meant to be more sterile. They're meant to sound robotic. So that's one major decision. Maybe the medium that you're going to use might be a major decision that's going to affect how it comes. You might make a major decision to make fewer small decisions along the way. But just yeah, something to keep in mind, and thought it'd be fun to talk about a little bit. And yeah, hopefully further down the road I can get into a little bit more detail on why, even though it's subjective, I don't like that word because I like to think that on the face of it certain things are just plain better, but I find that a lot of people vehemently disagree with me on that one. But anyways, hopefully I can get into arguing a bit about why a lot of these decisions can help to make the music actually better music. So anyways, thank you for your time.